Hey guys, and welcome back to The Thing. So hopefully this might be the last video. So we've got some serious questionable gaming mechanics coming up now, but that's okay. Right, we're going to rob all of our stuff back from this guy because we're going to leave him to die because that's kind of what we do. You know, he has fulfilled his usefulness, and now we just need to escape. And unfortunately, we need to escape whilst everywhere is exploding, and we're going to take a lot of damage, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Or at least that's the way this facility is going to crumble. Okay, so we need to get out the way we came. And I don't know if you remember, but possibly the last video or video before that, we came across a elevator shaft or a... Okay, we got stuck there. That was questionable. We came across a vent right at the top of the spiral that we didn't go in. Well, we need to go in there now. We're going to be taking a lot of chip damage through this. We're going to try and limit the amount of chip damage that we do take, because we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to get through with these medkits. And yeah, it's kind of insane, actually. But luckily, we've got our trusty fire extinguisher. We're going to want to avoid damage wherever we can. And that is the real challenge here. I don't know if the explosions are randomized or what. It kind of feels a little bit wonky with how the damage is doled out here, but maybe that's just me not necessarily understanding the mechanics. And I'm pretty sure at some point this is going to start catching fire, and we need to move pretty quick. Right, okay. And we're gonna try and do a strategy that I didn't try when I was playing this off camera. But we're going to see if it works out for us. Now, you're going to see just how much we have to do and just how much we have to get past until the next save point. It's kind of insane. Yep. I think this place is going to... Well, it's going to start catching fire soon. But we seem to have got off some... Oh, yep, that hurt. Probably could have avoided that in hindsight, but... It's fine. So this is where we originally dropped down into this section. And we've got some goons, because of course we do. And just around this corner, we're going to have some fun boys to deal with. We're going to see if we can't handle them with our fire grenade. Oh. Yeah, or you know, that could happen. I have a feeling we killed ourselves there using our fire grenades. Yeah, that's the thing that happens. Right, once more we're feeling. So there's definitely just straight up some unavoidable damage that we have to just roll with here, which is somewhat problematic, as I'm sure you could understand. Now we're just going to lock these boys in best we can and hope that we can... Wait a minute. Let's switch up to these. There we go. That's what we wanted. Oh, we are actually getting... Right. I don't know... Okay, so I don't know what is actually killing us when we back off there, because there's no fire and there's no steam. But that's twice. Oh, there is a little steam vent. I just see it out of the corner of my eye. Almost impossible to see with your, you know, eyes, but it's there. Yeah, this is a hell of a gauntlet run right at the end of the game. But hey, we're nearly through it, aren't we? Once more feeling, guys. Alright, it seems like everything's going down up there. Now, what we could potentially do here, we're going to get rid of him, and those guys, I'm guessing, are going to charge our way. Alright. Now, if they're going to charge our way, we can hopefully manipulate that. Like so. And give them some flaming grenade. Oi! 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 Why are you running out of the fire? You're not supposed to do that. You sneaky fucker. Yeah, not a fan of that. They're not supposed to be able to sneak out of the fire. So, what's going on with that? I couldn't tell you. Oi! 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 Quite enough of that. Oh. God damn it. Okay. Let's get this shit show on the road one more time. I don't know how many of these flaming grenades it actually takes to kill these guys. Apparently quite a few, actually. But that's fine. We apparently have managed to do the deed. Right, let's put these fires out before anything gets a little bit too delicate. So this is the steam vent here that was actually killing us. I mean, that's good to get some closure on that. I'm not sure. I mean, okay. Yeah, these steam vents are really bad. But it's fine. We managed to get through there. One thing I would like of the developers to put in is a way of actually checking how much health you've got left. Without being damaged, but I don't think there is. Now, I think this fall here, I think we're going to take damage from it. Yeah. So there's a point of failure right there. You can easily take like damage and die. There's also a point of failure, which is basically just the explosions, to be honest with you. Right, that's how we originally got there to start with. Yeah, I mean, you can see the blood splatter we left behind. Yeah, there's no way of avoiding all the damage. I've tried multiple times. Now, this is a fun bit here. This is a target-rich environment. And the best way I've kind of discovered to do this is to just kind of slip off, take a little bit of damage, and then run for the hills. Yeah. If you fight all those guys, you're gonna have a bad time and die. Oof. But it's cool. We just cheesed it past a lot of the bastards, and hooray. So, almost out of the gauntlet. Oh, sweet summer child. We're just getting started. Have you noticed there's been no save point yet as well? Because I've noticed. Now, this is kind of a weird section. We're on the end game now. We have to fight through about 600 billion enemies now. Whilst our temperature meter is constantly ticking down. This is a thing that they do. Right. But that's okay, because we've got our trusty sniper rifle. A little bit off the top here. These guys kind of look like Hunk. Or maybe his cousin Dunk. Although, they're not very smart, which is kind of beneficial to us. But there's lots of enemies here. We have to fight through an almost insane amount, to be honest, but that's what we're here for. Target spotted. Ooh. We may as well use our grenade launcher that is, to be honest with you, rather dubious with how useful it is. It certainly has its moments, but it does leave a little to be desired. Although there is something insanely satisfying about how it just turns people into gibs. I enjoy that quite a lot. And I do like the way the fire grenades just burn people to death. It does please me. Oh shit. And again, we need to keep an eye on that temperature gauge. Because you know, we don't want to freeze to death out here. Luckily, just touching our toes inside here is enough to warm us up. Which is kind of interesting. It's not a terrible... Well, actually, it is a terrible game mechanic. I don't know. I don't like the temperature gauge. I guess they could have used it in an interesting way, but I don't think they did. I think, you know, people who have watched me for a while will know that I'm not a fan of game mechanics that serve only one purpose, and that is to waste the player's time. And unfortunately, that's kind of all this temperature mechanic does. It's certainly not needed, that's for sure. And I guess we're not hitting him, but he's hitting us, which is nice of him. Right, we need to go get a top up of heat. It's like, could we not have just brought a thermos with us? Pocketed some of that fire that we left behind? No. I do like the fire mechanic, but it's just very half-assed, I think. It's pretty cool how you've got to burn enemies and you've got to use... Come on, buddy. The fire extinguisher to, you know, put out fire and stuff like that. That's kind of a cool mechanic. I'm not really sure why you can collect multiple, like, fire extinguishers. Like, we had, like, 5 of them. In fact, I think we've got 5 of them in our inventory now, which did make me wonder if they were going to run out. But they don't appear to. Same with the flashlights. I don't know whether you can give them to your men. I don't think so. But again, it's something that I haven't really explored. Okay. So, ooh, okay. Not convinced I wanted to use my kind of last medical kit. That right, he's got a sniper rifle, which is not exactly beneficial to us. He's dead, but his friend here is the one causing the problems, and you can see that our temperature gauge is already kind of wearing thin, and that is your biggest enemy on this section. It's the temperature gauge, and I can tell you that this is not a fun part of the game to have to constantly replay. You know, methodically going back through and trying to get your temperature gauge up, popping your head out, killing a couple more guys, then having to go hide again. It's just... I guess it's padding. They just wanted to pad out the time. That's the only thing I can... The only reason I can think of that they would have used that sort of system. But, you know, there is this handy-dandy little cave here, which is about roughly... I don't know, actually. I was going to say halfway through, but I'm not even sure it is halfway through, to be honest with you. Okay, we do want to be a little bit precious with this rifle ammo, because... this rifle is going to be carrying us a lot. And if we die, well, Titan's not going to be a happy boy. Come on. Right, okay. I think he's actually got stuck in the scenery somewhere. Which is a thing that happens sometimes. It's not super common, but it does happen. Right. Okay, I was hoping those barrels were going to be a bit more effective than they actually were. But we'll take what we can get. Luckily, hiding in this little cave helps us out a bit, because our heat is not ticking down. Right, he's done. Ooh, there's a flamethrower guy. kind of don't want to get too close to him because we know how super effective fire is. All right. That's fine. What I would have liked to have seen in an ideal world, it would have been nice if there's a little save room in here, but alas, I guess we can't have everything now, can we, boys and girls? But that is fine. We're just going to continue pushing forwards. There's still plenty left yet. Somebody behind us? No. I felt like there was someone behind us. Now that son of a bitch up there, guys, he has killed me more times than I care to count. Well, probably twice, but that's 2 times too many. Getting him to trigger so you can just headshot him like that is a bit of an art form as well. Damn it. Should have checked my ammo. Ooh. That's fine. Slow but steady progress. That's fine. We don't mind taking our time with this. We'll take all the time that's needed. Now we need to go hide in our little cave to warm our little feeties up. There we go. We're getting blue pinky fingers, which is not exactly what we need. Okay. Now, we definitely want to be a little bit careful with the grenade launcher, because it will, like the flamethrower, given the opportunity, it will shut your whole career down. But hopefully we're not going to let it get that far. Got a sniper who can kiss my raggedy ass. Yeah, there's no alarms for you to sound, lad. Now we possibly need to go and get some thermal energy because our stocks are running low. I think we're doing all right here. I say I think because this bit does go on a little bit. I mean, it's not quite as bad as when I went through here the first time and I thought, Jesus, this is never going to end. My kingdom for a save station, you know? But no matter. No matter. A little bit more thermal energy. Yeah, considering the garb that we're wearing, you know, we're wearing Arctic equipment. You would have thought that we could be outside for more than, I don't know what that is. Is it 30 seconds? Is it a minute? Not really sure. But you would have thought that you would have been okay for some time. Obviously, I guess we're not going to be out here all day. Come on. Okay, you're dead. Bang, bang, motherfucker. Now, let's keep moving. Moving forwards. Forever forwards. Pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. So nice. Oh, the warm kiss of being inside. The warm embrace.
Game over, Whitley.
I don't think so. I control you. Right now, I control every man on this continent. Your pathetic sabotage of the consignment at the airstrip only delayed the inevitable. There is an evac team on its way to this location. Once I take the chopper, I will begin global infection. Game over? This game is just beginning.
It's never really clear why he wants to infect everybody, or whether it's just one of those situations that he wants to do it just because he's a penis, maybe. That tracks, I suppose. Anyway, finally, after all that nonsense, we get a save station, which is pretty handy because, you know, we don't have too much left to fight through, do we? Ugh. You know, only the entire US Army. Yep, not really sure why he's being an evil McEvil douchebag, to be honest. It's never really cleared up. Complete global saturation. Alright. Ooh, let's shut them down. Ruin their entire career. Okay, let's just keep... Let's pocket that... Ooh. Definitely going to want to put that grenade launcher back in our pocket. It's quite the thing, let me tell you. And it's certainly ended my career more than once. Hopefully. Not again. Now, what I like about this shotgun is it actually has a really freaking impressive range. It's like they've got shotguns right. Which is something that doesn't happen super often in video games, as we've discussed countless times. Right, let's get that through that. Don't want to be walking into none of these. Actually, let's just get the standard nades out, shall we? I think that's the standard grenade. I'm not 100% sure. We've so rarely used them. So that's your high explosive. That's your flame. There was a blue one as well. Okay. So that's your standard run-of-the-mill nade. Evening! That was unwise. It's also like these government guys are taking out their own traps, which is kind of cute. I can appreciate it. Oof. That hurt. That was really quite stupid as well, actually. If I say so myself. Not sure if we got him. Maybe. Definitely want to grab as much shotgun ammo as we can. Now, I'd like to tell you that I know where I'm going. But that would be a lie. This place is really quite mazy. Now, also notice how the thing has kind of taken a bit of a back seat. Ooh, hello. Yep, the thing has taken a back seat to Mr. Whitley. And he has kind of taken center stage, which is an interesting mechanic, I guess. I was expecting this game to be more based around the actual thing infection itself and not... I think that was one of the biggest surprises for me, the fact that this game sort of divulges... Ooh. He really just walked into his explosive, didn't he? And just, you know, evaporated meat chunks everywhere. I mean, that's fine. I don't mind. Yeah, I didn't think this game would go into kind of like a Resident Evil style. Big Pharma, evil corporation is bad. And I suppose even if it did, it's fine. But we're given no motivation for the enemy to be doing what he's doing. Just for the lulz, I guess. Yeah. Ooh, hello. He almost ended my career. God damn. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that these guys will just quite happily straight up walk into the trip mines. I get the feeling that this game is kind of rushed, you know. And I think if you read the literature and some of the interviews of the time, that is actually the case. There was a lot of other things that they wanted to put into the game. They wanted to flesh out the mechanics for the trust system, and they wanted it to be more of an open world style game as well, which would have been quite interesting for the time, I think. But with all the time issues that they had, oh, hello. They didn't get a chance to do it, unfortunately. Okay, back into the unforgiving outdoors. Now, I'm sort of tempted, to be honest with you, to go and run back and save the game. But, you know, we're so close now to the end. I don't know if I really want to do that. Can't remember if there's actually a save location close by. There's a lot of snipers, which is not fun. And these snipers have very questionable accuracy. Sometimes they're pretty much dead shots, like, you know, no worries at all, guaranteed hit. And then sometimes they're just lemons. I guess it just depends who you're lucky or unlucky enough to be fighting on the day. Like, the sniping mechanics certainly seem like they're okay. They're probably just as good as anything at the time, but they sort of seem underutilized, I suppose. All right, how are we doing? I think we've thinned them out. There's more sniper ammo, which is cool. And then we have another goon. One of Umbrella's, Unigen. I think they're called Unigen. One of Unigen's finest. The AI is absolutely questionable, for sure. I mean, it does help with the difficulty of the game because the enemies are so dumb. They're not always much of a challenge. And that even actually lends itself to the Thing monsters themselves, you know. They're not very aggressive at all. Sometimes they'll run through fire. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes, you know, they'll just hide in a corner and stand next to, you know, your soldiers. And sometimes they won't. It's all a bit strange. I definitely think this game could have been significantly better with a little bit more polish. Is it a bad game? No, of course not. It's actually a pretty bloody good one, to be honest with you. I've had a really good time with this game, but yeah, a little bit more care could have made all the difference. Right, let's go top up our heat and then get out of here. Okay. Now, interestingly enough as well, the scientist that we actually captured, or Faraday, I think he was called, yeah, Faraday. That scientist was actually based on the director of the original film. And the director of the original film, he actually endorses this game as well as a canon second entry, basically, which is really cool. It's nice to see that. All right, kill Whitley. Well, okay. He's a bit of a nasty bastard, but we're going to see what we can do. You're not looking so good there, brother. Oh my, he turned into a hand. I suppose it's better than turning into a foot, I guess. Well, that ain't much to look at, is it? How the frick are we going to take that out? Well, that certainly looks like something from Resident Evil. Yeah, that thing's looking pretty gnarly. Although, looks like we have a helicopter friend.
Need some help?
Yeah, no shit. I need you to circle close. Once I fire, you've got 10 seconds to get this chopper as far away as you can.
Yeah, so he says we have 10 seconds to get this chopper once he's away, as far away as he can, as soon as we fire. I don't know what he means by that, because, well, we're going to use this M60, and we're going to go ham on these guys. Now, we have to open up these barrels, basically, which is going to incinerate him. All the time, we're going to be using our heavy machine guns to try and hold him back. Now, the angle and arc on this thing is not great. I think it just about does what it needs to, but it is a little bit iffy. Now, I'm not sure if we have like a health meter or anything here. I don't know. If I can get those last barrels, I'll be happy. Goddamn son of a bitch. There we go. Last barrels. Whoa. Okay, come on, buddy. Take to the skies. So, as you can see, we're making this Whitley rather crispy. But he seems to be tanking it. I don't know why he's turning blue. He was not turning blue when I did this off camera. I don't know what that's about. Ah, looks like he's got a little tentacle friend. No tentacles for me, please. If it's all the same. The least tentacles, the better. Oh, I see, he's got his little tentacle out again. And that is that. What about that for an end boss? Riveting.
Excellent timing there, pilot. Early retirement from Gen Inc.
No, not exactly. On my way back from an extended Arctic vacation.
So what's your name, smartass?
McCready. R.J. McCready. U.S. Outpost No. 31.
So, it is canonical that McCready survives. I don't know what he was doing for the last 3 months. I couldn't tell you, but this end theme is one of the only pieces of music in the game, which is also another odd thing. But this is done by, I think it's Saliva. That actually did this final track, which is pretty cool. So, what do we think of the thing? Well, honestly, it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a survival horror experience, kind of. I don't really know. Almost, not necessarily Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but something along that sort of scope. With a sanity system that was going to kind of change things up for your soldiers. And everything I've read and experienced of this game, especially watching reviews, really played up the sanity system and the trust mechanic. But actually playing the game, it's kind of a non-issue, really. It makes very little difference. I think the weapons and the enemies were fine, but it's interesting that they video gameized, I suppose, the thing a little bit. You know, you only need the flamethrower to kill the big enemies, which, you know, obviously that's not how the thing works in the film. You actually have to burn every single cell, and it has to be totally destroyed, otherwise it will regenerate. But I can understand for the time that would have been a little bit too difficult to probably make fun, I guess. The mechanics of the game were interesting. I think the squad stuff, as basic as it was, worked fairly well, and it was enjoyable. The game kind of bigs up the fact that you have... they're not just empty NPCs. essentially. They're all named and they all have their own personalities. Gonna be honest, didn't really see much of that. They all kind of felt the same. The infection mechanic that the game kind of talks about as well is kind of a red herring as well. So you can test your teammates' blood and stuff like that, and outside of a certain few areas, it doesn't mean anything, because most of your teammates are either scripted to turn or they don't. So, for instance, you can blood test somebody and they're fine, and then 30 seconds later you can walk past a threshold where they're scripted to turn. So, yeah, that doesn't really hold much water. The fire mechanics were interesting. I like the idea that you'd have fire and you have to put it out with fire extinguishers. There's something just enjoyable about that. I don't know why. It was fun. However, I didn't like how hyper lethal the fire was. You know, you more often than not, you're going to be doing more damage to yourself. There you go. Even John Carpenter is in the credits there because he was in the game. He was Faraday, his voice and everything. So, yeah, interesting stuff. The fire just did more damage to you than anything else. Yeah. I would have liked a few more weapons as well, a bit more variety. And it would have been nice to see a little bit more of the thing as well. It's kind of interesting. This game sort of seems to have a bit of an identity crisis. It kind of goes from a monster action horror shooter, which I think is the best way to explain it. This is an action horror game, and that's fine, by the way. I have no issues with action horror at all. In fact, I kind of prefer it in some ways. And then it kind of divulges into just like a military shooter when you start fighting all the government goons like halfway through. I think a lack of focus is a bit of an issue with this game. I mean, it was still good, it was still fun, but it could have been better. You know, staying more on track with the thing, and not necessarily bringing a big pharmaceutical corporation into the mix. But then, I mean, I suppose that was the style of the time, wasn't it? So, is this game worth playing? I think it is. I really do. I think if you're a fan of the film and you'd like to see some closure, I'd say play it. Give it a watch. It does have some very unfair difficulty spikes. And that actually brings me into another one of my main pet peeves with it. The strange, inconsistent save system. There's no checkpoints, but that isn't exactly super uncommon for the time. Apart from the fact that you can restart each level, I guess you can call that a checkpoint, but it doesn't really help that much, to be honest. And I don't like the fact that when you die, you can either exit or restart the level. Why can't you just load the last save? It's kind of annoying that you have to back right out to the main menu to go back into the load system to load your last save. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're playing the game, you know, and you're getting killed by cheap deaths, setting yourself on fire with a blowtorch, blowing yourself up with your own grenades, getting steamed by steam vents that you can't even see. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But I think most of the reviews for the time are pretty bang on. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's decent. It is worth a playthrough. There was a second game in development, which was, according to eyewitnesses from the time and interviews from developers, was shaping up to be a complete across-the-board improvement. And unfortunately, the project was cancelled, which is a massive shame, because I would have liked to have seen what they could have done with a bit more time, a bit more money. I think that could have been fun. I think that was supposed to be targeting the Xbox 360 and PS3 as well, if memory serves. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you thought of the game. I had my fun with it. I had my frustrations, but overall, it was a positive experience. So, thank you very much for watching. And as always, till next time.